Hello to all our parents and carers of our students at OIEA. This video has been prepared to support our Year 10s and their families as they make their decisions about returning to the Academy. However, we felt it was important for you all to know what we've planned for the Academy and to see what it looks like, even those families in Year 6 who are waiting to transfer in September. As you know, our Academy has remained open since the official lockdown for the children of key workers and those children who are vulnerable and need additional support. I want to say a huge thank you to all those staff that have worked on this and will continue to work on serving you as a community and our amazing other key workers as we all help to keep the country on its feet during this difficult time. Don't worry about taking notes on everything. We've sent Year 10 a letter detailing all of our plans that will be on our social media sites, on our website under recent letters, and in our COVID-19 area. Stick with me, there's lots to say to ensure that you have all the information you need about school during the coronavirus crisis. Welcome back. It's been a while since we've seen each other, and so much has changed since then. The world's a very different place, and although we have kept it up to date with each other about schoolwork, you're unlikely to have seen the school and the changes we have made. We wanted to share with you our plan for Year 10 coming back so that you could make an informed choice as to whether to send your children. We've been working hard to make the site and the way we teach as safe as we can for all who'll be in the building. We've been thinking carefully about the environment that students could return to and how we could make it as safe as we can, and also ensure that it could be cleaned as quickly and thoroughly as possible on a daily basis. You can see an example of what our classrooms look like now, keeping to a 2 metres social distancing. If the weather's good, there are possibilities for being able to work outside as per the government guidance. We haven't the facilities to do this all the time for everyone, but we can use this as an alternative. Have a look at what our corridors look like now. You can clearly see the markings that we've put down to remind students and staff of the 2 metre rule whilst moving around the Academy. The government guidelines say that unless their job requires it, staff in schools do not need to wear personal protective equipment or PPE. In this school, your children may see some staff wearing PPE, and we thought we'd prepare you for this. We want to protect your children, but our staff also. Cleaners, site staff, and first aiders may be in school in different types of PPE, and staff may choose to wear it when with children. We don't want this to be a frightening experience, so are preparing you in advance. Staff will have been fully trained on what types of PPE to use, how to use it so it does its job properly, and how to dispose of it safely. We've added extra antibacterial sanitising stations around the Academy, and we've stocked up on soap. We will have antibac available in all classrooms being used. We're not going to run out. We've made sure that we have enough signs to remind students and staff to keep their hands clean and how to wash their hands properly during the crisis, and we'll talk to you about clothing in a little while. We are not planning to invite any non-essential visitors into the academy. This will mean that we will not expect to see parents on the academy grounds. If you do feel that you need to talk to someone, please phone or email us and talk with the person that you require. Please don't turn up at an entrance and expect to come onto site. We don't want to offend you, but unless it is essential to your child's welfare and we've made an appointment, we're keeping the numbers of people on the site down to a minimum to reduce the chances of transference of coronavirus. We know that you'll understand and support us with this. We have already risk assessed the site for visitors and deliveries. As you're aware, the government wants us to start to have some face-to-face contact with Year 10 to support their remote learning. Please be clear that this will not be a return to their normal timetable or a return to all of Year 10 coming in at the same time and for the same amount of time. Everything we have prepared for them is based around the safest plan we could make, based on the guidelines we've been given. Everything that I will discuss with you now has already been risk assessed, and those risk assessments are available on our school website in the COVID-19 area for you to view. From June the 8th, we'll be phoning up the students in Year 10 to talk to parents about whether they want their child to return, and to talk to students about the work they've completed at home, setting targets for them to complete, and discussing, if they are returning, where they need to come to and who they'll be with. If and when they come into school, they will either be in for a morning or an afternoon session, and you will know in plenty of time what's happening. These pod meetings will be socially distanced. In the letter that we send you, you will see that your children have been placed into small groups that will attend the academy in either a morning or an afternoon session twice a week. We have called these groups pods, and they're no bigger than 6 children. Whilst in their pods, the children will be in the same classroom with an allocated member of staff. They will be sat, socially distanced, and the teacher will be supporting them with completion of schoolwork, with areas they might find difficult, and may also be teaching lessons to them that are live and that other pods may be listening to with them and working with them at the same time. These pod sessions will last for 2 hours, and then those students will leave the academy to return home and continue their remote learning. Our housekeeping staff will then be cleaning these classrooms. The afternoon pod sessions will take place in different classrooms with different members of staff, again to reduce the possible transmission of coronavirus. We've decided that the only movement that will take place in the academy will be entering the site, moving to the classrooms, leaving the site, and using the bathroom if necessary. If we had a case of coronavirus in the academy, this plan would ensure that as few children and adults as possible would have been exposed to the virus. If your child becomes ill at school and displays coronavirus symptoms, we will automatically follow our risk assessment procedures. We have asked you to let us know that your contact details and your emergency contact details are up to date and someone is available to be contacted throughout the day. In order to treat your child, you and they should be prepared for staff to put on PPE and to hand your child a mask to wear. We will contact you to pick up your child and to ensure that you use the government's track and trace service. If there is a case of coronavirus, you and the school will be contacted by this track and trace service, as will everyone in the pod, who will then be advised to self-isolate. Using the small pod system means that contact will have been kept to a minimum, and this will have stopped further transference. Please note, we do not expect children with symptoms to be sent to school, and we are confident our procedures will keep staff and children as safe as we can. It is likely that the toilets will have a member of staff outside monitoring those going in and out. This is again for your child's safety. They will advise them of the correct cubicle to go in, one that hasn't been used or one that's been recently cleaned. They will not go into the toilets with them. Housekeeping staff will be on site to clean these toilets through the day, and staff will be on duty on the corridors to facilitate safe movement to the bathroom and back to class. It seems a lot, but we think that this is the safest way of managing this for your children. Everyone in the academy will have to follow the instructions of staff and the instructions about hygiene and socially distancing. If a student could not do this, then they would put others at risk. We need to make sure that we're not causing problems in the community just because we're starting a phased return to school. If we ask the children to come back to school during peak times for public transport, we'll not be able to get everyone in, and we may cause problems for key workers going to work. So morning sessions will start at 9:30 and last till 11:30. Afternoon sessions will start at 1 to allow no crossover between groups and end at 3 p.m. Both of these avoid peak hours of travel. Whilst in school, students will be allocated a laptop or PC to work from, so they have access to Show My Homework. This laptop or PC will be cleaned after use, and they'll always receive a cleaned device. We'll be supporting them with the lessons set online, but may also be delivering lessons using Microsoft Teams. If you've used Zoom for family quizzes, this is a program a bit like this. This will mean that a teacher may deliver a lesson in one room, and it can be shown in multiple classrooms for everyone to be able to take part in. It could also mean that a student on one pod can receive their lesson over Teams with their headphones in and not disturb the rest of the pod, who may be in their options class. We would ask that where possible the children bring their own headphones in to reduce virus transference and cleaning. We do have headphones at school that will be cleaned daily if this is not possible, or their own headphones are not compatible. When the teaching sessions are over, the children will be dismissed apart from each other and at different gates. This dismissal will be monitored by staff on duty, and the students will be encouraged to anti-back their hands for one last time on the way out. We would ask that the children make their way straight home and make a further hygiene request for you to consider, that they put their clothes in the washing machine and have a shower or bath before interacting with any other members of your family. Our staff do this every day when they teach in the academy.
You know that I love uniform. Here at OIEA, we value uniform and standards of dress and how this gives us a sense of belonging and identity. In the future, we'll be back to normal with uniform standards. But when your Year 10 children come back to school, we'll expect them to wear their own clothes. We haven't dropped our standards, we just know that medical advice suggests that everyone wears clothes that can be easily cleaned every day, and when you return from your place of school or work. We think that wearing comfy clothes will be easier for everyone, and especially for your washing piles. And we advise you to wear clean clothes every day where possible.
We know that many of you are returning to work soon and might feel better supported if we were open every day for everyone with the normal school hours. But if we did that, we couldn't protect your children and families from the rapid transference of this horrible virus if it happened. This is the safest way that we can teach your children and ensure that we continue to protect our community. You'll notice that we've not planned breaks or lunches into our schedule for Year 10 yet. Whilst we still have the children of key workers on site, we'll not be able to keep the numbers of children safe using the canteen and the playgrounds whilst we stick to social distancing. If you qualify for free school meals, then we're continuing to provide the vouchers and to send them to your home. If you do not have free school meals, then children should be home in time for lunch after the first session, or can have lunch before they come to school for the afternoon session. We've planned things to make it as convenient for you as we can and as safe for everyone on site as we can.
So you've seen and heard what we have in place and how school will not be business as usual for some time, but it will be the safest we can make it until the science tells us otherwise. The staff, your child and your family's well-being is the most important thing to be considered. You as a family must now sit down together and maybe watch this video again to talk over your feelings and see if there are any further questions that you want to ask. If you do, then please phone school in school hours or email me when it's convenient for you. Our individual Year 10 meetings start on June the 8th over the phone, and we hope to see your children in their teaching pods from the 15th of June. Keep safe and take good care of yourselves.